They thought it was over. They thought they buried me beneath the weight of their betrayals, their cowardice, their hollow victories. They walked away laughing, spitting on the ruins of what I once was, convinced that my name would fade like a whisper in the wind. But they were fools, every last one of them. Because the thing they shattered, the soul they left for dead, didn't disappear. No, it transformed. It hardened. It twisted itself into something they will never understand. Something they will never be able to kill. They thought they broke me, but all they did was forge the weapon that will tear through their illusions, carve through their flesh, and brand my name into their nightmares. They made a mistake. They gave me pain, and I turned it into power. They handed me suffering, and I molded it into steel. They left me in the abyss, and I became the abyss. Now they'll hear my footsteps echoing through the dark, and their stomachs will turn with fear. Their hands will shake, their breath will hitch in their throats, and they'll know I'm coming. I'm coming for everything they stole, for every moment they mocked, for every scar they burned into me. And when I take it back, I won't leave them broken. I won't leave them gasping on the ground, begging for mercy. No, Mercy is dead. Mercy was the man they destroyed, and he's never coming back. They will learn what it means to be hunted. They will taste the kind of fear that tightens around their throats like a noose. They will see shadows where there are none. Hear my voice in the silence, and feel my rage in every breath they take. They wanted a monster. Now, they'll live with one. Now they'll see what it's like to have your name whispered in fear. To know that no matter how high they climb, no matter how much they run, the reckoning is always behind them. They will try to fight it, to stop me, to bury me again. But it's too late. I don't break anymore. I don't bend. I don't stop. They pushed me past the point of return, and now they will know the cost. They will know that they weren't strong enough to kill me, and now they are too weak to survive me. They will watch everything they built collapse under the weight of my return. Their alliances will crumble. Their walls will fall. Their names, once spoken with pride, will become nothing more than whispers of regret and terror. They will know I was never gone. I was only sharpening my blade. They thought I needed them. They thought I depended on their acceptance, their approval, their false promises. But the truth is, they needed me. They needed me weak. They needed me broken. broken. They needed me beneath them to feel powerful. And now, they have nothing left to stand on. They built their thrones from my suffering. And now those thrones will burn. They built their confidence on my silence. And now their confidence will shatter beneath the sound of my vengeance. They will scream my name, not in victory, but in horror. They will whisper it in hushed tones, afraid to summon the storm that follows. They will hear it in their sleep, wake up in cold sweat, knowing the nightmare isn't over. 'Cause I don't just return, I take over. I don't just rise, I dominate. They had their time, they had their moment. Now it's mine, and I will not waste it. They will try to run, to hide, to gather their strength again. But the truth will hit them like a hammer to the skull. There's nowhere left to go. No safe place. No sanctuary. No second chance. Their time is up. Their games are over. Their power is mine to crush. They spent years building themselves on my suffering. And now they will spend every second drowning in their own regrets. They will wonder where they went wrong. They will question why they ever thought I was finished. They will curse the day they ever crossed me. They will understand that I don't just win, I destroy. I don't just rise, I drag them down with me. And when they're gasping, when they're begging, when they finally see the truth, that I was always meant to stand at the top, and they were always meant to be nothing, then, and only then, will I decide if they even deserve to exist in my world. They will never forget this. They will never recover. They will never again doubt the power of the one they tried to erase. Because I am not just back, I am inevitable. They will feel it in their bones, in the marrow of their existence, the weight of their mistake pressing down on them like chains they'll never break. They thought they had stripped me of everything, that they had taken my strength, my fire, my will to fight. But what they never understood, what they were too blind, too arrogant, too weak to see, was that I was never built from comfort, never shaped by kindness, never fueled by acceptance. No, I was born in the fire, raised in the war, forged in the agony they tried to drown me in. They believed pain would break me, but pain was my birthright. It was the forge that melted my hesitation, the hammer that shaped my resolve, the blade that sharpened my hunger. And now, that hunger will consume them. They think they know fear. They think they felt it before, in the fleeting moments when their thrones were shaken, when their empires cracked. But they have never known true fear, the crawls under the skin, that poisons the blood, that turns every breath into a prayer they know won't be answered. They will know it now. They will feel it settle in their hearts. A sickness with no cure. A shadow that never lifts. They will hear my name in every gust of wind, in the whispers of their own people, in the silence that surrounds them when they think they are safe. They will search for an escape, but there will be none. They will look for mercy, but there will be nothing but the abyss they created. The abyss I became. They thought they ruled me. They thought they had the power to dictate my rise and fall, as if I was nothing more than a pawn in their games. But now the game is over, and the only move left is mine. They will watch, powerless, as the world they built begins to crumble, as the foundations they stood on collapse beneath them. They will reach out for help, but no hands will come, because everyone they once controlled will see what I have become, will see that I am the storm, and no one survives the storm. Their allies will abandon them. Their names will rot in the mouths of those who once praised them. And in the end, they will stand alone, shaking, staring at the ruin of everything they fought to keep, knowing it was never truly theirs to begin with. They will remember every word they spat at me, every time they laughed as I bled, every moment they thought they had won. And then they will understand that all they did was set fire to the wrong soul, that they took a man and turned him into something beyond man, beyond their reach, beyond their power. They wanted a villain. They wanted something to fear. They made one. They turned me into the legend that will be spoken long after their names have turned to dust. They crafted their own destruction with their greed, their lies, their betrayal. And now, I will give them what they asked for. They will try to stand tall, try to act as if they are still untouchable, but their bodies will betray them. Their hands will shake, their voices will crack, their eyes will dart in desperation, looking for a way out that doesn't exist. They will taste the fear they once fed me, and it will choke them. They will beg for time, for another chance. But I don't deal in second chances. I don't waste my time with the weak. They took everything from me, but I let them. Now, I take everything from them, and I will never stop. They will kneel, not because I demand it, but because their own souls will crumble under the weight of their regrets. They will understand too late that I was always meant to be at the top, that their reign was a lie, built on borrowed time, stolen from someone who was always greater than them. And when I stand above them, looking down at what's left of their broken, pathetic existence, I won't feel pity. I won't feel remorse. I will feel nothing. Because they took the last of my mercy and ground it into the dirt, thinking it would never come back to haunt them. But now, it haunts them in the form of the warrior they never saw coming, the shadow they created, the nightmare they will never wake from. They will speak my name in fear. They will hear it whispered in the streets, see it carved into the walls of the empire they once called their own. And they will know I am the inevitable force they should have never challenged. I am the storm that never stops, the reckoning that never falters, the darkness they will never escape. They wanted to erase me. Instead, they immortalized me. And now, they will live with that mistake for the rest of their short, miserable, doomed lives. They will curse the day they crossed me, the moment they first whispered my name with disdain, the second they decided they were above me. Because now, they are beneath me, beneath my shadow, beneath my wrath, beneath the weight of their own arrogance. They thought they had power, thought they held the strings, but their grip was always weak, their control always temporary. And now, I rip those strings from their hands, crush them beneath my heel, and watch as they finally see the truth. They were never strong enough to keep me down. They were never wise enough to see what I was becoming. They were never ruthless enough to understand that every wound they gave me only made me more dangerous. They wanted me gone, and now I am everywhere. They will try to fight back, to claw their way out of the grave they dug for themselves, but it will be useless. They built their kingdom on lies, on stolen victories, on borrowed time. And now that time is up. Now they drown in the consequences of their own betrayal. Their screams will echo through the empty halls of the empire they thought would last forever. Their desperate cries for salvation will be swallowed by the silence that follows when the strong take their rightful place. And I will not give them the luxury of a quick end. No, they will suffer, just as I suffered. They will lose, just as I lost. They will feel the weight of despair pressing down on them until they finally break, until they finally understand what they created. They will realize in their final moments that their power was never real, that their victories were never earned, that they were never the kings they pretended to be. They will look into my eyes and see the abyss staring back at them. See the monster they forged, the weapon they sharpened with every betrayal, every deception, every attempt to erase me. And they will know this was always meant to happen. Their downfall was written the moment they tried to control something they could never truly own. They believed they had won, but they were only delaying the inevitable, only stacking their sins higher, only making their fall that much greater. They will know, as they kneel in the ruins of their arrogance, that they never truly ruled anything, that their power was a fragile illusion, a house of cards waiting for the right storm to tear it apart. And that storm is here. It wears my face. It speaks my name. It ends them. They will watch as I take everything, as I rise higher than they ever could, as I erase every trace of their existence from the world they once thought they controlled. They will watch as I stand on the summit they never truly owned and declare what they refused to believe. I was always meant to be here. They were only ever placeholders, obstacles, distractions. Now they are nothing. Now their names are dust. They will spend their last moments searching for meaning, for some justification, for some excuse that explains why they lost. But there is no mystery, no hidden lesson, no grand twist of fate. They lost because they were never strong enough to win. They fell because they were never meant to stand. They broke because I was always the one who would survive. And as they take their final breath, as they whisper their last desperate prayers to gods that do not listen, they will finally understand the truth that I have always known. They made me a monster, and now they will never escape me. They will choke on their own pride, suffocate on the arrogance that once filled their lungs with power, and drown in the silence that follows when the world stops fearing them and starts fearing me. They believed themselves untouchable, kings of their own creation, rulers of a world they thought was theirs to mold. But kings are only kings until the real warlord arrives, until the storm they ignored grows too big to contain, until the fire they sparked becomes a blaze too massive to control. They thought they knew strength, thought they had seen what true power looked like. But they have never seen me like this before. They have never faced the version of me that no longer cares for mercy, that no longer hesitates, that no longer stops until the last of their empires lie in ruin beneath my boots. They will scramble, grasping at the edges of the world they built, trying to hold on to whatever remains of their stolen thrones. But their hands will find nothing but dust. Everything they once stood for will fall apart. Not because I am taking it from them, but because they never truly deserved it in the first place. Their victories were borrowed, their legacies built on the backs of those they crushed, their confidence a mask hiding their deepest fear, that one day someone stronger would come and strip it all away. That day has arrived. That someone is me, and I will not leave them with anything. No name, no honor, no memory of the power they once wielded. I will erase them so completely that history itself will forget they ever existed. They will try to make excuses, try to rewrite the story, try to paint themselves as victims of a fate too cruel to escape. But there is no deception left to save them. No lie that can undo the reality standing in front of them. I am their fate. I am the consequence they never prepared for. I am the ghost they tried to bury, now standing in the ruins of their dreams, watching as they finally realize this is not vengeance. This is justice. Justice for every wound they inflicted, every betrayal they justified, every moment they thought they had silenced me. They never killed me. They only made me stronger, only sharpened my teeth, only gave me the patience to wait until the perfect moment to strike. They will regret everything, every smug smile, every mocking word, every time they laughed while I bled. They will replay those moments in their minds over and over. But the laughter will no longer sound victorious. It will sound desperate. It will sound hollow. It will sound like the echoes of a past they can never return to. A world that no longer belongs to them. Because they had their time. They had their moment in the sun. Now that sun has set. Now, the night they feared most has arrived. And in that darkness, only I remain. They will beg for the past to return, for a second chance, for a world where they still sit on their thrones. But time does not move backward. The past does not return. The world does not undo the damage they inflicted. They burned the bridges, and now they will die on the island they stranded themselves on. I will not hear their pleas. I will not entertain their regrets. I will let them rot in the aftermath of their own destruction. Let them feel the weight of what it means to lose everything, and know there is no coming back from it. Because I did not just come back for revenge. I came back to make sure they never rise again. To make sure the lesson is burned into the bones of anyone who dares to stand in my way again. They will watch as I build something greater, something untouchable, something eternal. they will see that I do not just destroy, I dominate, I conquer. I rise above them in ways they never imagined possible. And I do it not because I needed to prove anything to them, but because it was always my destiny. They were only obstacles, temporary distractions, challenges meant to sharpen me into what I was always meant to become. And now that I stand at the peak, now that I look down and see nothing but the dust of their broken legacies, I do not feel pity. I do not feel remorse. I feel complete. They thought they were the storm, thought they were the inevitable force that could never be stopped. But now, they see the truth. They were never the storm. They were never the force. They were nothing but the first ones to fall. And now, their names will be spoken only as a warning to others. This is what happens when you create something too powerful to control. This is what happens when you challenge the inevitable. They made me a monster. Now, they will live in the shadow of my name forever. They will spend the rest of their days haunted by the echoes of what they once were, staring into the emptiness where their thrones used to stand, realizing that their time has passed. No more power, no more control, no more fear to wield against those beneath them, because now they are the ones who kneel. They are the ones who look up, trembling, as the new order is written in the ruins of their empire. And that order is simple. I rule. They are nothing. They will walk through the ashes of their own downfall, their fingers brushing against the remnants of what they lost. But the past is gone. It cannot be rebuilt. It cannot be reclaimed. They will hear my name in whispers, see it carved into stone, feel it in the silence that follows every mention of their failure. And they will know that I did not just return. I did not just rise. I became something greater than they ever imagined possible. They will watch as the world moves on without them, as their influence fades, as their legacy is reduced to a cautionary tale. They will be forgotten, erased from history, not because I demanded it, but because the world no longer remembers the weak, no longer has a place for those who once pretended to be gods. Their names will be lost, their faces blurred in the memories of those who once feared them. And mine will be eternal. Mine will stand unshaken, unchallenged, carved into the very foundation of the world they once thought they owned. They will finally understand what it means to be powerless, to watch from the shadows as someone else stands where they once stood. But unlike them, I will not fall. Unlike them, I did did not build my strength on lies, did not rise by stepping on the backs of others. I earned this. I bled for this. I survived for this. And they will never take it from me again. They will whisper my name in the dark, not as a king, not as a ruler, but as a force beyond their comprehension. A legend, a nightmare, the shadow that never fades. And as they take their final breath, staring into the abyss they once tried to throw me into, they will know this was never about vengeance. This was never about evening the score. This was about one truth, one inescapable reality that they were too blind to see. They made me a monster. Now they will fear my name forever.